up, Headspaces? It's your brother VJ, the brother from the ancient mother. We are here in Shoda, in the streets, kicking it live and direct with one of the legends of Eastern Cape hip-hop. We're still doing a continuation of the elements. And if you know anything about the hip-hop culture, you know that before all of the shiny, flashy bling and the MCs came on your television sets or on your phone or whatever, we had the core, which was the DJ. None of this would have ever materialized if it wasn't for the fact that Kool Herc hosted block parties which were able to empower people and help them find ways of channeling their anger, their aggression into something positive, into something constructive, which would later become this beautiful culture we call hip-hop. Now, focusing into this core, which is DJing, it's time to actually focus and go into the nexus and the crux of what DJing is. A lot of people understand it in different ways, so I couldn't have this conversation without a DJ, not just any DJ, somebody who's laid the foundation to some of the original core principles of DJing. So we're here to break down the evolution of the disc jockey. What is a DJ? How has it evolved? What is the history of the art form, the future of the art form, and what significance does it hold in hip-hop, especially hip-hop in South Africa? So next to me, I've got the dear beloved brother Ian Kamma, formerly known, I don't know if it's formerly known as DJ Kamma. Idris. So breaking it down for us about, first and foremost, his story in hip-hop and what he contributed to the movement. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, where can we start? Start back, like the journey started around about, I won't say 2002, I'd say earlier on in my life when I was like in my teen years, in the 90s. That's when the rise of Prophet of the City came up, Ready and all of them. I wasn't influencing a lot, but the night when I saw Ready perform, like scratching techniques with their door throughout the Eastern Cape, in our community, all of them, I was like, that's it. What's this guy doing? Scratch button, where's the scratch button? Then Ramon was also there. Doing backflips. He had a big booming show, but it was still all that time. It was like the subject matter, the art form was consciousness about rounding community politics and the world power. So that's when my mind changed. I'm getting into teaching. How did this man do this? I hear the sound, but I can't figure out what is it when you see his hands moving. And as years go by, then my life changed also. I went through a little bit of different phases. Then it was like 1999 again. I saw the man again. He was like out of the scene, not out of the scene as such, but the environment of entertainment. So I saw him in Grahamstown. The university used to have like a lot of gigs and parties. So that man came on, and then television was gaining popularity again. Spoke to him, was like, this is one cool dude. Like meet him at the Grahamstown Festival with that time they had the Jazz Festival. So there was an experiment or something that they did one year with like jazz crossover, hip-hop turntables.
Nice.
So that enthusiasm started growing some more. I could feel like the day after the party, so when he was spinning, you can still hear the scratch sounds, like I can see still the techniques. He was like, at work the next day, like I'm like he on the desktop, like working in the lab. And like as the years go by, then I saw like a lot of things happening around me, like how the youth has changed. So I was like, man, how can you get the youth out of this chaos that's going on around us? Like, saw like gangs rising again in a small town like Grahamstown, like. And fast forward throughout the whole change of the hip hop scene on TV. That time, like 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s, there was like this mix of the culture that you could say like. You saw consciousness, like consciousness hip hop. You saw like a thug,
that
like
commercial,
MOP, like the
gangster
MOP
rap.
style. Then the bling people came in, so there was a whole mix. So you had like different paths that you can walk on and gather from. But the one part that was like interesting to me was like, okay, here's one. Just heard step into the walls, like, man, this is something here. And then there was which one was it? The anthem.
Right.
with the sway and tech.
Yeah.
That was just like, man, there's something here. So I listened to Dead Press, then the whole game changed.
So basically, your love of hip hop was something that centered around community building and awareness of self.
Yes.
So you point out DJ Ready D, Grandmaster Ready D as like the core influence. How difficult or easy was it for you to actually start getting the resources to start trying this thing out? Like
Getting to that point now.
Yeah.
It's like then I listened to Dead Press, like their focus was black consciousness, community building, and how you must get people up, inform people, like start the people's army.
Yeah.
It's like
Organized.
Then I became rebellious completely. Like the white system, this all that,
Yeah.
But that also shaped my mind again into like drifting away from idealism, because in this world, like for instance religion, you can take religion, how white people, white God, if you say someone's the son of God, then you make him white, and obviously the father will be white, which means God is white, the rules the world. So with that face into Dead Press, I moved away. It's like emptying the cup and fill it up again with some new substance. Then I learned from that. Then as time go on, started thinking of community, how you can rise up. And I started to listen to more conscious music. Then I started to meet people from PE.
Yeah.
Actually, before that, there was a Kwaito like hip hop outfit called Unauthorized from Shoreville, Farouk Abrams.
Yeah.
They had this Kwaito outfit, house outfit, but also addressing issues from the community, but in a house outfit. So that's when J-Bucks and them also were on that tour. And then I came down to be a couple of times in that year, 2001, 2002, and I went to my first cypher. I think 2001 went to my first cypher in Sweden.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, listen. But that time I already had like a couple of underground artists also.
Yeah.
That I got music from Jockey and from Farouk.
Yeah.
Then Farouk said, no, come, I'll show you the other guys that I got the music from. Okay. Then we meet up. Then they introduced me to the scene. Then I went back home. I said, I need to get. Then I met X-Nasty of Dead Boys.
Yeah, shout out X-Nasty.
That was my brother's band. Home, all these years. Then we hosted the show, Food of Life, on Shakedown FM, on Fridays. But okay, that time Fridays was Apocalypse at Arma.
Yeah.
So like, okay, let's shift our one on Saturday, then there's 2 nights of
hip-hop. Yeah.
Hip-hop. So then, since they taken them went away, the whole thing changed. We said, we'll do that show Friday nights. I started learning there with BIZ, like how to mix and stuff. So there was tenants. Then, but my mind was still, two turntables and mic. It was in my back, the back of my head. I'm still having that vision of scratching.
Yeah.
And beat juggling techniques, all of that. I was like, okay, let's get turntables. Yes, when by 2002 started to involve in like b-boying. And through b-boying I learned like funk music is the foundation of hip hop. There's the breaks in funk music.
Right.
It's building a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Hip hop. For instance, like when I heard the big ball, the champ, and when I heard KRS One Step, it was like, this was sample here.
It's where?
Started to hear the samples. It's like, damn, where is this from?
Yeah.
Blondie was also part of this rapture. I was like, yo, okay, this is interesting. And I started like traveling back and forth to Cape Town. Like that time, a lot of international artists came through, like Black Delicious, Loop Troop came through also. Went to that concert. Went through Black Delicious concert also.
Rest in peace, Gift of Gab.
Gift of Gab. I saw the man live. So, this man's big.
Yo.
Like he's walking towards the stage, and he was like, what the hell is he doing? He's like planting. Where is he going to the stage? And the plant goes one side, he starts popping. That was big. Yeah. And I told Rocher, it's like, man, I need decks. And that time I was like, how much is this gonna cost? Okay, meet up with this guy, he's a drum and bass DJ. He had like 2 Technics 1200 SLs. I was like, okay, with the needles. We spoke there, meet up in Woodstock. He brought the stuff to us. Like, no man, I also have a mixer. He's like, yeah, you have a mixer? How much more? Just like 1,000 on top. So okay, bought the stuff. Get to the bus. Hey, that was another hassle. Hey, this guy on the bus told me, he's like, bruh, yo, this stuff is heavy. You're gonna be charged by the weight. It's like, yeah, I didn't know, bruh. It's like, don't worry. You can squash this thing.
Yeah.
I'll just keep quiet until we get be. I had the decks, put it in my room. So looking at this stuff, it's like, yo, bruh, you just spent 6,000 rand of your savings. What now? Is this worth it? And I covered the stuff. I told PIC, I said, PIC, yo, my man, you coming over? Yeah, we used to run a recording studio at home. A rat race studio, because there was rats in the city. Like, yeah, having a race up here. It's like, rat race studios.
Shout out Rat Race Studios.
Yeah.
That's the struggle, yo.
And he came in that night. I was like, yeah, man, just check there under the covers. I got something there. I was like, yo! Oh, shit, no! I was like, yeah. I was like, now we have the decks now. We must work. Ah, man, you really did? I said, yeah, I did. I was just thinking the way forward.
Yeah.
Like, this thing is growing. And we need to kick the ciphers. Connect a couple of vinyls to Milk Daddy from Africa's Gateway. I had like a couple of things, and then she's come show you online stores also. Online stores. That time Sandbox Automatic was dope. Until someone filed a claim for bootlegging this stuff, and then the site completely crashed. So now it's like, whoa, now what? It was my source of getting like rare stuff. And I was like, okay, check. Then eBay came along.
Yeah.
Started, okay, bidding. It's like, this bidding crap doesn't work. You bid and then you get to the point of paying and then it doesn't work. It's like, It's like, okay, just buy straight. So, okay, here's a vinyl I want. Double copy of full album or single. Order. And then I started building the crate. DJ Honda. Then the Crimson Festival became more active, and I told X, and I was like, man, we need to do something in this festival. Then that year, Junai Grenadier came. And Debs.
Yeah, shout out to
He had that tour with what's her name again? Eavesdrop.
I remember Eavesdrop.
They came past. So I was like, let's do this. We will have this is the starting point for us to have a hip hop festival inside the festival.
Right.
It's like that time it was still a vague idea. It was like, no, do something for the heads first. And as the years were like, no, we need to structure something. More people can come to brainstorm because most of them are artists.
Right.
When they come, their heads are artists, so they need something to online. And they're like, man, what's going on? We come to this place. After we perform, then what? You can't go to this jiggy clubs.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. Look at something. Started 2004. We did the first DJ Raiko thing also. Did the first one. It was dope. Just people flooding in. People from the community also used it. It's going. MCs performing. Then B-boys came through also from the area because that time like was the B-boys and the B-boys were rolling together.
Yeah.
Bionic Breakers. It's like it actually started out of 2 crews being gangsters, not gangsters as such, like a gang.
Yeah.
So we're like, this thing has to end somehow. And it's like, come on guys, let's form one crew.
Yeah.
It's like what's deciding on a name? Okay, I'm not sure. And then this one said, okay, what about Bionic Breakdance? Okay, Bionic B-Boys. It's Bionic Breakers. Okay. And the foundation was laid, Bionic Breakers.
Yeah.
So they came through, had like battles, put up some prizes, and the MCs were performing. It was dope. DJ Raiko came through, cutting. And as the years we started to move into town, that was in our area. The next year we were like, man, we need to get somewhere. Ask maybe the clubs for something. They can maybe have a slot. But it's no man, I'm not keen on clubs. You know how they operate. That means we're gonna have a small time slot, then it's over.
It's over, right?
It's like, okay, let's work on something. And there's a place called the Old Jail. I think the 2005. Yeah, 2005 we had it in the community, like it was a bit smaller, but it still had like we had like a platform for debates, like where people came through. One night was for debating and discussing issues, and then the next night was cipher night.
Right.
So that was small in the community library. The next year, it's like, now let's take this thing into town. Because most of the people stay in town.
Right.
That means they have to take taxis, the others take bus, they walk. And it's like dangerous to walk if you walk through a town area into our area.
Yeah.
That border area where the railway is, that was dangerous. Like, yeah, you walk, you walk. It's like, hey, walk through here. People just like, you have no idea. Cyclists, everything. You want to be here. Like, okay, then said, meet up with the backpacker place in town, Old Jail. It's like, yeah, this environment looks good. We like this, like clubs, chill outdoors. It kicked off, like people started to know that, like, you come to Grahamstown during the festival, there's gonna be a hip hop festival. Yeah. And then we worked on it. Next year again, that place closed down. Could not go back. Then we have to meet up with the club.
Yeah.
And it ran for like how many years? I think 2-3 years in a row. Then I'm still back. Nah, man, I'm getting tired of this.
Yeah.
Something real control. Like say 2007, and the scene started changing. That's why I was talking about the MCs.
Yeah.
The scene started changing. Like previously, where the DJ used to spin, the cypher was on. MCs were inside, like either rapping over the lyrics of other artists. Then it's like, put up the tracks, like the cyphers over now, like battles, okay, put up some sound, put the track up, everybody knows. There's like a few people that stayed back, like a couple of people out of town, PTA people that came through, JSEC, the other cats outside. It's like, oh, the scene has changed like that now, people are like focusing on themselves.
Yeah.
Shine must be here. It's not like share.
Hip hop spirit, the community.
It's about me now. Me.
Yeah. That individualism.
Yeah, individualism started. It's like, okay, this scene is gonna die at some point. It's like, okay, one element that doesn't change, it's gonna remain strong for a very, very long time, and that's the B-boys.
Yeah.
That's where the B-boy and the DJ walk together. There's no B-boy battle, there's no DJ.
Right.
So that's when I started like getting more involved with the B-boys, B-boy scene, B-boy culture. Still turntablism. Yeah. But not hectic. It's like just enough that I know like, okay, I can keep the battle running. Yeah. It's like the vinyl is 360, like maybe I see the 360 like. So 360, keep the music going. So that's where cutting breaks come in. Yeah. We have a sample and another sample, like Cool Work used to explain. Yeah. Then used to buy like, what was it called again? What's it? The collection has volumes, like 7 volumes of them. Say I can't get the name now. But basically, we have a break silence for 10 seconds. But it's so dope. You have to like kind of loop the two together. But to loop that two together, there's 2 ways of getting to it. It's either you're gonna try and mix it in, which is not gonna have the same effect. And I started to listen to like a lot of like breakbeat DJs in B-boy battles. Like, get that. It's like,
how are you getting all this information? This is not the internet age. So
I wanted to know that.
You couldn't just Google this stuff. How are you teaching yourself all of this stuff? And where were the resources coming from? Where were the tutorials coming from back then?
That was something else from documentaries.
Yeah.
Like you like watch, rewind, scratch the documentary, rewind back. Music video like that, the anthem. And like, what's this man? Check his hand techniques. But difficult then traveling to Cape Town through like all the concerts they have. Normally they have like maybe a hip hop workshop. Then the African hip hop in Daba also likewise. Then Emil and them used to come around the Eastern Cape to do the African hip hop in Daba. And they also have like a workshop. But previous to that, I learned from the scratch documentary.
Right.
Play pause.
Play pause. Damn.
How you do baby scratch? Okay, baby scratch like that. Sham, 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 sham. Okay, cool. Now transform. Check. Okay, that's how you do. Okay, chirps. Crab scratch. Okay, cool. Beat juggle. Then beat juggling. Damn, beat juggling that's difficult.
Some sophisticated stuff.
Yeah, that's like those kids practice like hours to get to the technique of like having one section of maybe a drum and maybe an instrument build up a new track of its own.
Yeah.
Like
That sounds technical. Yeah.
like people like Hubert, for instance. He's on some other level. Then you have like new cats after that I saw with the Techniques DMC of 2003. Because I got stuff from Cape Town from DJ D'Angelo from Black Noise.
Some stuff. Yeah.
$20 bucks. You can have this. Like, watch this stuff. Like, yo, these guys techniques are crazy. It's like, what the hell? It's like they create something different. Like they cut the break so that it loops into like they take one track and they like expand it or they build the track with a lot of chunks. Like, this gets from Canada, like DJ Dopey, Inferno from US, DJ Quest from London. Those cats were some other levels.
Breaking it down to a science.
This is madness.
Yeah.
Like this feels impossible, and it was really difficult.
Yeah.
I could only do basic beat juggling.
Yeah.
But tried to build a track like they were building. It's something else.
Yeah. When was the moment where you were doing your thing and you really felt like, okay, now I got the hang of this. Now I can openly and proudly say that I'm a DJ.
That would probably be around, what year was that? It would be alive, I say 2009, when I probably learned like the scratch technique for just doing a b-boy battle.
Yeah.
I tried to get to this technique for a long time, over a year. I was like, listen to this breaking DJ.
Yeah.
Because it sounds simple, but to get that sound and then one night I was like up until late, and there was this funk break called the rain dance or something. Like what is that? It's like at last. But it was a slower break. It was a slow beat.
Yeah.
But it allowed me to have that feeling, like the timing, everything. When to release your crossfader, like when to put in, because it's basically just baby scratches. But it's a rhythmic baby scratch. You get baby scratch and you do rhythmic break scratch, like a baby scratch, like on the kick or the snare. Like for instance, for like hip hop, we used to cut on the snare, like to help yourself mixing in properly. And you can just drop it, like the snare close off the crossfader, and drop the snare. And once you drop the snare, it goes.
Nice.
Time yourself properly, like
Yeah.
We used to have competitions like then with the tenants, like mixing. And he's one first, and X Nasty was sitting there just laughing. Like two was like, come, no my turn. And then one night I was still struggling with mixing then. Mixing came proper then. And then VI is like, nah man, how can you? Was like, it's over, bro, it's my turn. And you bump the desk.
So there was a healthy level of competition as well. Like you guys helped develop each other by always wanting
scratching,
to kind of
like scratching. I helped him with scratching. It's like, okay, check.
Nice.
Don't, like with scratching, there's not like a lot of aggression. Both you have to like listen, feel, like also look on the vinyl, because there's like on the break like a normal analog vinyl. Say it's a funk record, you can see the break. There's the break because the shading in the record is
It's
different.
coming through, yeah.
Because there'll be like fine lines like on your fingerprint, and they become dense. Then you know there's a break.
That's a break.
Take the needle, drop the needle, and to your surprise, bam! That's it.
Yeah.
That was the foundation of hip hop. Then cats just slowed it down, cut it up, put in another sample. There you had the beat.
So what do you feel was your role in the party? Like, I know MCs come there and they want to show off their skill. B-boys come there and they also want to, compete and show off their skill. So you as a DJ, you as a turntablist at that time, whenever you stepped into a cypher, going and organizing your events, BIZ and X Nasty, what did you feel you brought to that whole experience?
The energy.
The energy, yeah.
That was the main focus, the energy. Keep the cypher alive, keep the energy going. So you don't want to have dead air or anything.
Yeah.
Just want to keep the cypher kicking.
Yeah.
The B-boy battles, you want to keep the B-boy battle on the go. You want to keep B-boys running.
Yeah.
Because they need energy. If the sound is not dope, they're not gonna have a dope battle.
Yeah.
They're not gonna win that battle.
Yeah.
But if you give them what they want, the juice. We used to say the juice, and they give them the juice.
Give the juice.
Because before the battle started, like, DJ, today, I said, wait. You wanna spin your stuff? Because I normally used to collect, like sometimes like B-boy battles used to space like all the time, like long months. So I had months to collect. But previously it was analog vinyl, was like to spin over and over, same breaks.
Yeah.
The whole changeover was like digital integration
Yeah.
into turntablism, like when Serato came through. That actually helped us a lot as breakbeat DJs, because now you had like tracks on digital that you so much wanted to cut up, but then you can't because the analog vinyls are scarce. It's like then Serato came through. I was still skeptical about Serato. And other people were toying, like Eddie D and them were using it, DJ Switch and them were using it. Like,
Shout out DJ Switch.
like,
Yeah.
okay, order this, ordered. It's like, yo, fuck, help me out here. It's like PC based, Windows based programs. Like, come, let's check. Set it up. It's like, okay, there you go.
Here we go.
Okay, plug it into the mixtape, follow instructions. Okay, plug it in. It's different from your analog connection.
Yeah.
It's like different. You run through the interface box into your laptop, into your mixer, out to your turntables. Like loading tracks. Like, oh, this is dope. Drop tracks. Now I can cut breaks, like you can double up. Sometimes there's dope instrumentals for ciphers, but then they release them in like 50 seconds. It's like, now I can make this.
Now you can snap that
They
50
can
seconds
freestyle, they can
and
freestyle
turn it
on
into an
here.
experience. No
Can
doubt.
freestyle on this beat. I'll cut up the other one into that one.
Nice.
Or mix it into the other
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
So in that tone of setting the energy, being the backbone of that spirit of hip hop, Reddy D inspired you on this path by you watching him doing some amazing arts. And would you say there were people who looked at you that you maybe could identify? Did you mentor any DJs, or was it still basically just you writing solo, maybe with BIZ? Or basically what I'm trying to get is, did DJing attract, because everybody wants to be a rapper, and if some people think that they're like good with their movement, they might try beatbox. But we have like a rare quality of people attracted to DJing in all of its ways, and that especially within hip hop, because a lot of people feel like they'd rather just be in the forefront rather than being that background energy. So did you have anybody coming up after you?
After me would be DJ Kanichi.
Shout out.
Oh wow, shout out Kanichi.
Because he used to ask a lot of like questions and be like, oh man, it's like this and all this. Like, where'd you get your vinyl from? Equipment wise, I told him like, check. Most of the time you'll find equipment in Cape Town. Vinyls you have to source like online, or you go down to Cape Town, meet up with people. Like I used to get my stuff from. Her dad used to have like rare stuff also that I never heard of at times. So like, cool. Like, make the price, pay the price, walk around Cape Town also, Long Street, check. But some of the vinyls, well, they okay, but the like little bit of scratches on also because they've been used before. But then at that time, that's what we had. We had to make use of that. spin it in ciphers, whichever way.
Yeah, that's nice. So in that evolution, you know, of growing and becoming this master DJ, what would you say were the highest points of doing what you did that really made you feel this is worth it?
It would probably be now I could pick.
Yeah.
Pick top 3.
There's like
Top 3.
top
Yeah, we're shooting an interview.
top three. Woo. I would say the groundbreaker was 2006, like the Grahamstown Festival.
Okay.
It came out of the township into like the environment of the festival in town. That was the big one because after that it was just buzzing. People were like eating you up. As like you could see even from the cipher there, it was hot. It was on. It's like it feels like today was like we did justice as a movement. Then obviously with the b-boy battles, it came around also. B-boys were like crazy, like, yo DJ, yo the you must keep on coming. Make me get music. All of this like don't worry. That time I was still in the mind frame of like this thing they used to say, break beat DJs don't tell. He doesn't tell you about his breaks anything. Artist name nothing.
Keep it secret.
Yeah, they used to tear up the labels because. But in that, there's a little bit of wisdom also. You keep the breaks fresh. Because imagine I play a track every day on radio. You're gonna get numb. It's gonna become numbing. So you as a b-boy, it's gonna be fresh the next time you come to the battle again. And that I spin that break again. It's gonna be fresh for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna find that energy, and you can see sometimes, they really took out the cat out of the head. So part of that was also part of it. It's selfish, I would say it's selfish. Because now you're keeping away music and not sharing the music. But sometimes like leave it out.
Sometimes you gotta be a little bit exclusive,
Especially
to preserve the quality and to also keep people guessing, you know? Yeah.
Because when it comes to battle, DJ, you want to play it? Say, wait.
Yeah. I feel it. So, looking now, we've gone retrospect, we've gone into the story, and I want to talk particularly as a turntablist and a breakbeat DJ in an era that is becoming now more influenced by controllers and that culture of DJing.
Some skill died. I'll have to say some skill died because I watched like the years before African Hip Hop in Daba, and then it was like 2003, 2004, 2005, and I think 2006 too, and then there was a gap that I didn't go down to Cape Town for a long time. And I went back 2011, I was like checking out the DJ battles, like, yo, what's going on? Oh, kids, where's the skill now?
So what is generic?
Of like flipping vinyls and putting on vinyls. It's gone. It's just controllers. It's like basically you have like one mega mix on one side and then one mega mix of scratch samples on the other side.
Yeah.
So you have like one mega mix and another mega mix. Instead of like that skill is gone.
Right.
Kids used to sweat in a turntable battle.
Yeah.
Because they have like stacks of vinyls, tossing off, putting on, dropping the needle on the mark, pitch control, everything. That craft is gone, that crafting part is gone.
Right, that part is
become like easy now. Kids just loop sounds, scratch, keep one sample, one side.
So, would you say that a lot of the actual physical human element of actually being able to coordinate your mind with your hands and the machine, and now it's really the machine doing a lot of the work and you're just kind of pre-programming, and so in that sense it still needs you but
it's your thoughts.
But a lot of it is like you set what the automation does, and what you're talking about, as I understand it, is that art of still being the one that influences the machine more than the machine
Like
influencing
I was
you.
talking to DJ Styles also. He's an old club DJ from the 80s,
Yeah.
90s. Even up till now, he's still doing like biker rallies and so on. And he mentioned something the other day. He's like, yeah, you know what? These controllers, the young kids of now, some of them can't even mix. It's like you walked up to this cat and he's like, check it out. It's like, okay. And he's nagging like, no, I need this equipment, I need that equipment. It's like, bruh, you're a DJ also. And it was at some beat down south coast. And they also asked like, oh, come on, call yourself a DJ. You can spend with anything. You're supposed to spend with anything. This equipment is where you have to improvise. So that kid mix was chaos. He just had his first minute into it. People started to walk on the floor because of controllers.
Can anything be done? Looking now as a DJ from that era, do you think the art is just going to die, or do you think there's a way to have like a conservationism around it, where younger DJs can learn the importance?
There's still, like, for instance, if you go, that's why I say I think b-boying is still gonna run the culture for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Because if you go to a b-boy battle now, international, you'll find 1200 stool turntables and the mixer. They have samplers, but some of them prefer not to use samplers.
Right.
And they work it the way it used to.
Nice.
But in terms of clubbing, performing artists, that part of samplers and controllers, there's a benefit and there's also a negative to it also. But I would say it's a benefit because back in the day you had some ideas to help the show going. But then, for instance, if your crew doesn't arrive, or maybe you are two artists, then the controller can help you with that, and the samplers can help you with that. So there's a benefit in it also. Look, things have to advance. There's no other way of looking, especially when things started to go digital. There was no way stopping that train. There's probably more stuff coming, smaller controllers. Maybe one of these days gonna be futuristic and just touch in the air.
That's what it is. Some holographic
scratch in the air.
3D stuff.
Yeah.
So, last note, what message, personal message, as somebody who's grown through this craft, evolved and had some wisdoms, would you have to say to anybody out there watching, interested in DJing, especially in reviving or in getting into the craft of turntablism and breakbeat DJ, to really go into the core of that hip hop?
The best thing is to do your homework. Dig into the archives. Go check out the legends. You can learn a lot from the legends also. Like the interviews, especially the interviews. There's a lot of information in interviews. Don't just watch them performing. Watch the interviews. You pick up a lot of things in the interviews. Discuss certain aspects, certain topics, another perspective. Maybe broaden your thinking around the art form. So that when you step up, whether you become a club DJ or not, you will put that element into your work of like the legends who are doing this and this and this. The legends advise you on this and this. Like for instance, technical stuff, like for instance turntables. I was still learning my decks for 3, 4, 5 years later. How some of the stuff worked on, like just by watching other DJs, like I didn't know my turntable can do that. Can elevate the tone up. I didn't know.
So you learn new things every time.
Even Serato scratch, I learned stuff like of Serato scratch like in the recent years. Like when was it? I think 2 years ago when I was still spitting. Like, wow, look at this! I'm killing myself the whole time. Even made it even easier for breakbeat DJ. You can watch the graph, the waveforms. Now you know where the break is. So if you're queuing up, you can see it. Instead of watching here, you can check the graph underneath. Numbskull. Everything was in front of me the whole time to make it easy. Yeah, I'm still old school. Queuing back. Watching the clock. But at least I was working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm building up maybe a sweat or
Exactly.
my back feels like aching.
I think there's something to be said about the old school approach, because a lot of old school mechanisms taught us to put our actual physical effort into it. And because you put your physical effort, it's not only like a process of like enjoyment, but it turns into exercise. It turns into something that works your mind and your body. It becomes a skill that connects with you on a mental and a physical level. And I think, again, that's what's lacking today. A lot of the body experience has kind of dematerialized and gone into the machine, where now all you need to do is press a couple of buttons. And yeah, there's still movement and effort on the part of the hands or the mind, but throwing yourself into the physical thing, not so much. So it's really an honor to sit with somebody who can transmit a little bit of those wisdoms to the youth, start this discussion, talk about it. Thank you, DJ Kamma, for giving us this important story of the core of hip-hop, which is DJing. This has been The Headspace. It's VJ, the brother from the ancient mother. It's the brother DJ Kamma. And this has been The Headspace. We're talking about the elements of hip-hop. Shorterville, it's been amazing. Salute.
Peace.